There are a few male dancers in the 1960s and 70s whose technique would stand up to current-day standards. Danish dancer Peter Schaufuss is in that category. In addition to his precise technique from his Bournonville training, he ranks high on the razzle dazzle scale with creative innovations with a prominent step in Le Corsaire named after him. His turning skills were remarkable, as he was able to effortlessly maintain 6+ turns in various turn sequences. Mikhail, Baryshnikov, and Rudolph Nureyev are on most ballet fans' lists of great male dancers of the era. Peter Schaufuss should be on that list. This video explores Peter's more athletic variations, going in depth on the features that make him stand out. A short bio before getting to his variations. Peter Schaufuss was born into a ballet family. His mother, Mona Vongso, was a leading dancer at the Royal Danish Ballet from 1938 to 1962. His father, Frank, danced at the Royal Danish Ballet from 1941 to 1970. In Frederick Ashton's 1955 Romeo and Juliet, Mona was Juliet in the premiere cast, while Frank was Mercutio. Peter says that his parents would have preferred if he had become a lawyer or a veterinarian, but he followed his parents' footsteps into the Royal Danish Ballet School. At a young age, Peter was greatly influenced by highly regarded teacher Stanley Williams, who later joined the faculty of George Balanchine's School of American Ballet. After dancing at the National Ballet of Canada for 1 year, Peter was offered a principal contract at London Festival Ballet, now English National Ballet, in 1970, at the age of 21, at the recommendation of Anton Dolin. In 1974, Peter joined his friend and former classmate Peter Martins at New York City Ballet as a principal dancer. He premiered Balanchine works Steadfast Tin Soldier and Rhapsody Espagnole, both in 1975. He describes his time at New York City Ballet as great, but after layoff due to injury and a City Ballet musician strike, he accepted an offer from American Ballet Theater's Natalia Makarova to dance as her partner in ABT's Giselle. He loved the Balanchine-focused repertory, but felt more at home in the classics and left City Ballet in 1978. He was a frequent guest artist throughout his career, appearing at leading companies such as the Kirov, ABT, Paris Opera Ballet, Royal Danish Ballet, and the Royal Ballet. He worked with choreographers Balanchine, Kenneth Macmillan, Roland Petit, and Frederick Ashton, who all choreographed ballets specifically for Schaufuss. After his dancing career, he was artistic director of the London Festival Ballet from 1984 to 1990, instituting major changes.
Well, of course, the company has changed incredibly over all those years. I was associated with the company for 20 years. Now, after 14 years as a principal dancer and also a producer, the board invited me. They were searching for a new director. And at that meeting, I had two really important insurances I needed from them. One was to start a school, and one was to change the name.
He was the artistic director of Berlin Ballet from 1990 to 1994 and Royal Danish Ballet from 1994 to 1995. His children, Luke and Tara, carry on the ballet family tradition. Luke has danced at Scottish Ballet, Birmingham Royal Ballet, Royal Danish Ballet, and Sarasota Ballet. Tara dances at the Royal Danish Ballet. A few words on the Bournonville method that originated at the Royal Danish Ballet and the defining method at the school. Auguste Bournonville was a Danish dancer, choreographer, and director of the Royal Danish Ballet for nearly 50 years in the 1800s. He created the Bournonville method, a technique and training system still in use today by the company. This method emphasizes lightness, precise footwork, particularly beats, with a quiet upper body. Unlike the Russian or Cuban schools, the Bournonville method does not feature bravura steps, such as big turn series or dazzling space-eating circus leaps. Here is Schaufuss in the Bournonville classic Les Sophies, demonstrating the light footwork and precise beat action valued by Bournonville. This video presents 3 variations from 1971, I think, when Peter was 22 years of age. The solos are from the BBC documentary A Proper Job, which explores the role of males in ballet, emphasizing athleticism, largely from Schaufuss's perspective.
This series of programs is about the male dancer. I was born into the dance world. My parents were both principal dancers with the Royal Danish Ballet, and I was born in Denmark, where, like in Russia and in France, it's a natural thing to dance. To be a male dancer is a proper job.
What is striking from the videos is Schaufuss's advanced technique with plenty of razzle dazzle as he rips off 6+ turns several times with innovative leaps. I can't think of many male dancers in the 1960s and 70s whose technique would stand up to current dancers. Mikhail Baryshnikov is in that category, and after watching these videos would also include Schaufuss, who gives Baryshnikov a run for his money. I wouldn't think that a dancer with training in the Bournonville method, which does not feature bravura steps, would lead the pack of 70s male dancers in Le Corsaire's solos. A caveat similar to my Baryshnikov video on his variations in the movie The Turning Point. Schaufuss's solos were not in front of a live audience, and he likely had the benefit of multiple takes. Also, he could have spliced together the best segments of his variations. Even with this caveat, his works are spectacular, demonstrating ahead of his time technique. Take a look at his 1-minute Corsair variation, and I will be back with commentary. Schaufuss departs from the current norm in his first diagonal. Today, dancers generally do a diagonal from downstage to upstage, with Corsair soda basques, finishing with a funky step that I don't know the name, but dancers refer to the step as the Schaufuss step. Here's Carlos Acosta with the standard pass. Schaufuss does the step 3 times. He takes off on his right foot facing the corner. His left leg is bent as he does 1.5 turns, with his right leg sweeping high in front of him as he lands on his left leg. His right leg sweeps behind him as he goes to 4th position with a dramatic backbend pose. This step is more physically taxing than the Corsair soda basque, which is fairly straightforward for most male dancers. Let me know in the comment section if this step has a name. Schaufuss then demonstrates his stellar turning capabilities. Note his preparation, which is from a very wide 4th position, almost a 2nd position. In the Bournonville method, pirouettes are taken with a low développé into a 2nd position, or a simple sauté. Resulting pirouettes are modest, done in a low retiré position as shown here. Schaufuss' first turn section is amazing, with 4 turns in 2nd position to a plié to 6 turns with arms finishing overhead. His second turn is a fouetté, pulling into 9 turns using his uplifted arms on the last part and a lowered leg in retiré to generate more momentum. Unlike Baryshnikov and Daniil Simkin, who employ very wide arms that narrow throughout the turn, Schaufuss' arms are very compact and close to his body, similar to the Cuban school. See my previous videos on Carlos Acosta and Daniil Simkin. Schaufuss finishes with coupé jetés en manège in a circle, breaking up the jetés with an interesting innovation I have not seen done en manège, a jeté entrelacé alternant. A jeté entrelacé is a simple step, a leap from one foot to another with a half turn. He leaps high into the air in 2nd position, leg to the side, turning en dedans, inward. In a simple jeté entrelacé, he would come down here, landing on his left leg. Instead, he does an extra 1/2 to 3/4 turn, landing facing the back before continuing on to his next jeté, rather than going to the knee. Note from the stills how high off the ground he gets. Baryshnikov did this step at the end of a diagonal here in Don Quixote at Wolf Trap, and a more stylized version with bent knee at the end of his Corsair solo from the turning point, both going to the knee. Schaufuss finishes with the same step, jeté entrelacé alternant to the knee. The last step looks different from the steps on manège because he bends his left leg in a more stylized version of the step similar to Baryshnikov. On to his Don Quixote variation. His solo consists of standard Don Q steps, done with great control, particularly his turns. Take a look at the 1-minute variation, and I will be back with commentary. Schaufuss starts his variation with an en dedans saut de basque, a standard step in this variation. Then a big split jeté cloche en tournant. This is a complicated step in which the dancer does a scissor motion with the legs with a single turn. A common step today, but I haven't seen it much from 60s and 70s dancers. Noteworthy is his upward slant 180-degree split high in the air. Other dancers have a split more parallel to the ground. He then shows off his stellar turning capabilities in 2-turn series. First, he does a double turn in second, leg to the side, followed by 6 amazing turns in attitude derrière, leg bent behind him. Turns in attitude are difficult, and I have seen dancers do 3 to 4 turns, but never 6, a testament to his top-notch turns. On his next turn series, note his second position, showing off his great stretch of his foot in tendu and his substantial quadriceps in calf development, a product of endless pliés and relevés. He then pumps out 8 pirouettes, with his working leg lowering as he progresses. On his diagonal, he does 2 double tours to arabesque. This step is also common in the Swan Lake Act 3 Siegfried variation. The tricky thing about double tours to arabesque is shifting weight upon landing. Many dancers don't get this right, resulting in a hop to maintain balance on landing. Here Schaufuss is on the mark, with a rock-solid arabesque on both landings. Then 6 smooth pirouettes to a double tour to the knee. The last solo is the solo variation from La Baïdère. I will provide a few comments before the video. The solo consists of 3 segments. First, Schaufuss does double cabrioles derrière, 2 beats to the back. They are fine, but not the best examples of this step. Then 2 nice turn series. Lastly, he does a funky jeté en manège series that I have never seen before. I don't know the name of the step between his jetés, a very creative and unique segment. After his jeté and coupé, he takes off from his left leg, as if to do a jeté cloche as he did in Don Quixote, with legs that scissor. Instead of his left leg scissoring through, he battements his leg to the side, not front, and he pivots his torso into the turn, en dehors, before switching his legs like a fouetté. He lands on his right foot and proceeds to his next jeté. His final step is the same as in La Corsaire, a jeté entrelacé en tournant. Note how he bends his left leg and then flicks it straight near landing. Peter Schaufuss should be on any list of great male dancers of the 1960s and 70s. With refined technique from his training at the Royal Danish Ballet School, combined with stellar athleticism, his work has stood the test of time. His technique compares favorably with any male dancer of the era, including his better-known Russian counterparts. Thanks for tuning in.